Y'all so quiet. I mean, say no more. Y'all enjoy yourselves. Go Jets. Hope the Cowboys lose again on Sunday.
No.
You know what I'm saying? No. Next year. Hopefully next year. Hopefully next year. Wait, I have to. Man, Cowboys lost it behind on Sunday. You know what I'm saying? I had to put that out.
Everybody,
That's
don't
all.
forget to sign in, please. Please sign in. Okay. Our financial report.
Good evening, I'm Ncetha Mitchell, and I'm the treasurer for Liberty Hill Improvement Council. Our ending balance for, August was $3,466.17. And our beginning balance for September is $3,432.68. Expenses were for office supplies, and we also took in dues to offset our money as well. We're still collecting dues, or I am still collecting dues. You can pay by cash, check, and we also have a Cash App. And the Cash App is, if you want to write this down, $ LHIC dues 1871. Again, the Cash App to pay your dues, which is $5 a month or $60 a year, is $ LHIC DUES 1871. Are there any questions about the finance report? Yes, sir.
Who collects this money?
I collected. And in my absence, if I might hear Valerie,
When is the due?
I'm sorry,
When is the due?
everything is due, month by month. So at the meetings, they're $5 a month, or you can pay for the whole year at $60, but just by the end of the year. Or April is what we prefer for all of them to be paid. But we do have payment plans, so we work with you.
But usually most people pay in January for the whole year.
All right.
All right, any other
It's like
questions?
$65 if you never paid before.
All right.
Just a couple of things, we met with F.A. Johnson, Miss, had us meet with him. There's a common cause loan fund, and they do rehab on houses, and they're coming to Liberty Hill and the surrounding areas. So, you just have to be, living in the house and, have your name on the deed. And this will help you build generational wealth. This is for homes that you know that you're gonna keep and you're gonna pass down from generation to generation. So if anybody wants more information on that, I'll get that to you. But there's some brochures in the back. No, we have information in the back about before and after pictures and rehab and some of the activities that's going on, and then the grants. Next Generation have a craft pack coming up on the 28th. Did you want to share anything on that?
Yeah, we have, hello, everyone. I'm Andre Middleton. I'm the chairman for the Hill Next Generation. And we have our, this is going to be an annual thing, but it's going to be on September 28th. And it's going to be at the, it's going to be right on Trident Tech. Right, Stokes Drive by Trident Tech, thank you. And the tickets are $25 if you purchase it in advance, $30 if you purchase it at the event. And we're raising money for Christmas for the school kids. We have about 6 or 7 schools that we purchase gifts for kids who normally wouldn't receive the gift. The school gives us a list of the kids, and then we go out and purchase gifts for them. So anything you can do to support would be greatly appreciated. If you can come to the Crab Crack, good. If you just want to donate, that's good as well. So just let me know. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you. And the food's good, y'all. They have some good cooks, so get some tickets in advance. He has been selling some of his tickets, so if you want some tickets. We have some tickets right here. Okay, $25. We have an awesome young lady, Allure Unique Styles. She's doing her launch October the 19th. She asked us to support her. It's gonna be at Felix Painting. She's an author and she's a motivational rapper. But it's 10/19 at 12 p.m. She's gonna be at Felix Painting. So there's some flyers back there for her, as well as the craft. I put some flyers back there about the 6,000 a month. That is legit. They have that, notice on Google. We have a house on Nesbitt that's 6,000 a month. We're gonna talk about all of that later, but this is one of the motivations why we need to control our narrative. And these people won't talk to me. These Brazilians that built the house, and they won't call me back. When I approach them, they kind of say they'll talk to the owner, but they're the owners. And so just need some feedback on what we need to do about that. We have a overpass, I think that they want to build. Maybe Mr. Wright can kind of explain a little bit. Hi, how you doing? Please sign in. Thank you. Can you sign in for us? Thank you. That maybe Mr. Wright, our ombudsman, they share a little bit about the overpass across Rivers Avenue, and then the new grocery store. Would you like to share? Let's give a hand to Mr. Wright.
Good evening to everyone. Been in about 4 or 5 meetings, and I'm like, oh my God, where am I now? And so I'll make it short, very quick.
Yes, please.
Holding all my life. How's it going, man? Let's start with the overpass. Right there where Durant and Rivers Avenue, the train railroad, they're projecting a grant. We've gotten approval to do a flyover. And so that's important because as some may agree and disagree, the rapid bus line is going to come through. I know you all heard about that. And but in order for it to be rapid, that train have to be out of the way. And so they're going to do a flyover grant as a flyover right there in that particular area. And so that's what's kind of happening with that situation. Now, everybody knows where the railroad track is, right? Yeah. So a flyover lifts that up, where it's kind of like going over a bridge, kind of like, so that the bus line can continue to be rapid. That transit bus line is going to come from Fairground. It's going to shoot straight downtown there, Berkeley's, Meeting Street, down that area. Now, when that's going to happen, I don't know, but that's something that's been in the mix for quite a while. All right. As far as that's me. Oh. As far as the grocery store, there's a trajectory for a grocery store to be on the south side. There are some areas that they're kind of looking into now. They're not making it mandatory. Am I talking about you? No, I have headphones on when I'm on the radio. But there's a trajectory for the grocery store to be on the south side. The reason why I'm not going too much into details because they're still trying to find what is going to be the prominent landmark. There are 4 that they've already kind of designated, but there are some challenges. One of the things that we're up against, not up against, but where there is the property that belongs to the city, there are certain grocery stores that says, well, we don't want to go there. Well, we don't want to go there. And so the main spot that we were looking at was the old Kmart building. Some of you familiar with that? But the owner doesn't want to sell it for another 5 years. And so that's kind of, so trust me, it's not as, me too, before I came into City Hall, I was like, man, just put it there. No, that's not how it works. And so, but on the list, there's a few grocery stores that are lobbying, or that's kind of like on the docket. Now, what the mayor doesn't want is, sure, we could probably grab a food line, a Save-A-Lot or something of that nature and put there, but he really wants to store quality. He wants a Publix, he wants a Harris Teeter, he wants a Food Line. There's kind of stores that he want to bring on the south side because he believes the south side deserves it, and that's true. If you really understand grocery and understand how it works and how they ship it, you would want a quality store in that area. So there's a lot of kind of missing pieces that we're still working on, but it's in the movement. It's definitely in the movement, and so let's just keep tugging at it, and let's see what happens. So I just kind of want to drop that in there. I'm going back upstairs to the meeting upstairs in a little bit. And so I just left that one and then came down. He said, "You going downstairs?" "Yes, sir." "You coming back up?" "No, sir." But anyway, so they don't see me, I'm gonna be going home. But any questions? For those who know, I'm the ombudsman for the city of North Charleston. And some of you going like, what in the world is an ombudsman, right? Well, an ombudsman, you had four of them actually. I'm the fourth one. You had Mr. James Bell, who's deceased, who was a great ombudsman. You had Sherry Pierce. Then you had Teddy Pryor, who was an ombudsman for 14 years. An ombudsman is actually supposed to go to the community, go to community meetings, find out what the community, what the heartbeat, what are some of their complaints. And so there's 62 of them a month. And so you can imagine after work how I've been rolling. And so I hadn't got to all 62 yet, but I'm on my route. But Liberty Hill is a part of the mayor's heart. And so he says to me all the time, "Chef, go where our heart is." And I said, well, Liberty Hill, Union Heights, that's where the attention needs to be. Because everybody else, no offense, has been getting plenty of attention. So we need to share the love this way. And so that's why I came tonight. So are there any questions? For those who don't know, I have business cards. What I do is I handle complaints for the city. That's what I do. I handle complaints for the city. If you got a complaint against Public Works, the police department, fire department, EMS and county, okay? But if you got a complaint such as that, I'm not gonna say potholes, but that's a part of it. So what I do is I don't fix the holes. I delegate it where it needs to go. The difference between me and you is that where you're trying to figure out where they go, I know who they go to. And so they gotta respond to my email or to my message from city by saying, this is the issue or this is the situation. But I want you to be patient because a lot of times some of the streets, and I had to learn that, I've just been in office since May. A lot of them are South Carolina DOT roads. Some of them are South Carolina DOT signs. I'm on a campaign now getting Public Works to go with me through the neighborhoods and streets because every street that belongs to the city, I asked them, why we done the new signs? Why the old signs? We need to put up new signs. If we want to change the image, those are things that need to be done. Potholes, if they're ours, let's fix them. You know, I've got 17 of them that don't belong to us, and I'm fighting with DOT saying, y'all need to fix that. Well, it's not your problem. Well, it spills into our city, so fix it. So, you know, those are the kind of things that happen all before ombudsman wouldn't cross that line. With me, I'm gonna cross it because it needs to be fixed. It needs to be prepared. And so that's what happens. So any question for me? Okay, no question.
Can I get a card? I had a lady that called me last week, and I'm glad you're speaking because I actually forgot to call her back.
Okay.
But
anybody see a card?
she has a problem. The railroad, when they went through her community, her house began to sink. And I need to
when who went through it?
the railroad.
And
her house is sinking.
Wow.
And she said it's the back of her house is actually on the ground.
Wow.
So she said she had an attorney, and the first person that came to my mind was you. So,
Okay.
she needs some more stuff.
Oh.
So I'm gonna I'll tell you more later. I don't want to hold up the meeting, but I don't want to hold up the meeting. But I'll give you a call back.
Okay. All right. Okay. With a situation like that, you said it's because of the railroad. Okay. Yeah. We're gonna have to contact Southern Railroad on my cards. I can give you my number if those are ready. You got something? Oh, okay. Okay. Two laptops, three.
Yeah, they can't hear us.
Oh, they can't hear me? I'm sorry.
No, the Zoom, we just need to twist it.
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm on Zoom.
Twist it to us.
Hello, how y'all doing back there? There's no place like home.
I just need to twist it this way.
Yeah, if there's a case, you know, and that's a very great question. If there's a case, a situation that is DOT or railroad, CXX, all of them have maintenance numbers, okay? And that's very important. You can send it to me, but it's very important that you get your neighborhood to, join together and bombard them, send them emails. AT&T messed up a lady's drainage 3 years ago, and it just now started formulating. And not AT&T, Comcast, and they wanted to say, no, it's not us. So we took a camera and send the camera there and find out it was their line that's running through there. So you just got to kind of be patient, but give us a little bit of information, whatever we can, and we'll try to do the best we can. We work well with code enforcement, those folks, inspectors, and so, some of them hate to see me in the morning, but I send it to them, but that's important. But yeah, just know what you're dealing with, and when you get to me, if you don't, I'll try my best to find out what it is I can help with, because that's what I want to do. I do radio, but I want to help people.
Amen.
I want to help radio people. That's what I want to do.
Yeah. Paul Middleton, how are you?
How you doing, Paul?
Good, man. Good to see you again.
Always a pleasure, sir.
Hey, listen, I hear you say concerning these grocery stores. Have you ever considered bringing other people in and kind of having a bidding on what you want?
Yeah, I'll tell you. I don't want to get too far into it, but let me tell you where we are right now. Here's the real deal. All right, when you deal with grocery stores, it's not just us. It's grocery stores deciding what is the EMI. For an example, Publix is the store that we really want. Okay, but watch this. Publix says you got to make over $500,000 a day for them to come in your area. See, so the store that's really working with us right now is Walmart. Walmart grocery neighborhood store is saying, let's talk. So that's kind of where we are.
Well, the reason why I asked that is because I lived in this for quite some time.
Mm-hmm.
And I've seen how the stores will come, like Dorset, they'll sell out.
Right.
And now that leaves us to pay.
Correct.
Okay, public never shows that.
Right.
Never was there. Okay?
Right.
So what I'm saying is, maybe you might get other people from other areas, other states to come by, let's have a bid on this thing, because see, they're saying that you're not important, we don't have to put our stores in, because you're not making a lot of money. But
Right.
money is money.
Right.
And
Right.
you can generate 250,000 a day, that's no money.
Well, again, there are a couple of stores that would do it for that.
Right.
But the quality of the store is what we're also looking at as well. So you got to save a lot already on Rivers Avenue.
Yeah.
So we don't want to put another save a lot there. We want to put something there that's quality. You deserve quality. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I want you to shop where I shop. Don't let me be hungry. I'm saying I shop. But no, it's the real deal. But some great things are on the horizon that's going to help that. Just be a little patient. It's not going to happen overnight. I know people tell you, they're running, in the campaign. Oh, I can put a grocery store in 1 year. I'm here to tell you, no, you can't. It is not that easy. I was thinking the same thing. Oh yeah, man, you can just put one right up. No, it doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that. So.
Well, my concerns were how they left the community dry, because I can remember times, the only place you could really go is Dorset.
Right.
Across the Ashley.
Okay, yeah.
Or.
Winn-Dixie too. You got Winn-Dixie down there
Well,
too.
Winn-Dixie was way gone.
Yeah.
They've been gone.
Yeah.
Roseburg, oh my God.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, history shows, and I'm gonna walk off and give someone else a chance to talk. History shows when the base closed, a lot of that stuff, that's what dried up the South, to be honest. But the good news is, and I hope the mayor don't mind me sharing this, but you probably already know, the Coast Guard is coming here. And the Coast Guard is coming right off of that entrance of Cosgrove, Burton Lane, all that infrastructure. The Coast Guard is coming, and they're going to put their main hover right here in North Charleston. And so that means that's why you hear about the cruise line was leaving the end of the year and all that kind of stuff. Is because when the Coast Guard comes in, they bring all of their cutters here to North Charleston. So they'll be running from Canada all the way to Key West. That's what they'll be running. And so that's gonna help You understand? So we're trying to kind of use all the revenues we can. I know y'all go tell everybody. But really, but we're trying to use all that kind of strength to say to grocery stores, hey, this is the reason why you need to come here. You know what I'm saying? And to those of you that are looking at even the houses and stuff, it goes together. You know, be a part of investment. It ain't gonna hurt you. Get in part of that investment, because believe it or not, my grandfather said, get in, get out, or get ran over. And I'm here to tell you, you're gonna have to get in, or you're gonna get ran over or left. I'm just being honest, because it's a snowball effect that we can't stop. It started a long time ago, and we can't stop. And so the mayor's vision as he meets with us is that the South Side needs attention. They need love so that they can kind of come up, so that when people come in, they won't be left. So that's important. That's very important. Any more questions? Any more?
Thank you, Chef.
No.
All right, that concludes our official meeting. So now we will go into our open forum. Our open forum, we will have the Historical Society, the Redevelopment Group, and our urban planner from Greenville, and our urban planner graduate students from Clemson University, in that order. Before we get started with that, I want to introduce the Liberty Improvement Council. We have, of course, our president. I started in 2022, and well, the whole administration that we have started in 2022, except for one person. But unfortunately, our first secretary has passed, Barbara Hartley, Stevens Hartley. She was our first secretary, and she was wonderful, and we dearly miss her. So, our Madam Vice President is Renisha Holmes. Renisha, raise your hand.
Renisha?
Madam Vice President. Our treasurer is Ancita Mitchell. And our parliamentarian chaplain is Dexter Wright. Winifred. So we mentioned about the National Register. We have the Historical Society going to explain everything that they're doing for Liberty Hill. This is important, y'all. This is about preserving Liberty Hill, preserving our 53-year-old history, and moving forward for another 150. Amen.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
All right. I'm Hester McFadden, and I serve as president of the Liberty Hill Historical and Genealogical Society, and my vice president is Candida Dees Joy, better known as Conda. Yeah, she's been in the service for the Lord a long time, and it got tired yet. So we're just so glad to be here to explain to you what we're about as a group, as an organization. We actually started, our group started with folks who just really love history. We're history buffs, we love researching, and we just love putting things together to look at the past and just try to bring things forward for the next generation. That's what we're about. Hopefully you all have 2 copies that we passed out to you. One is a brochure, telling about the Liberty Historical and Genealogical Society. And please take the time to go through it and read this. It talks about our purpose, our objectives, and let me just kind of go over the purpose again, okay? The purpose of the Liberty Hill Historical and Genealogical Society is dedicated to collecting, preserving, researching, and interpreting historical information regarding but not limited to the African American community of Liberty Hill, founded in 1871 by former enslaved people. Not just Liberty Hill, but surrounding areas, in fact, the entire Low Country. And we know what's happening in this country now. There is a movement underfoot to obliterate and to get rid of our history as a people. Banning books, taking African American history courses out of schools, etc. The one good thing about CCSD, because there were some people who petitioned jumped up and down. They decided, after they took out the honors course of African American Studies, they brought back in another course that doesn't replace, but also enhances the study of our history. So that's a good thing. But in learning about our history as a people, it has to be taught, first of all, by people in the home. And you can't teach what you don't know, right? So we have to study as a people. We have to learn about our history and our heritage. So for that reason, we just really wanted to begin the process of teaching people about our history and our heritage. We have a rich history in Liberty Hill, one like no other in the surrounding areas. We're the oldest African American community, older actually than the city of North Charleston, than Park Circle. So we really have a rich heritage. 153 years old when you think about those 4 founding fathers. Those people had a nerve when you think about it. They cared about the land, they cared about their families, they cared about us moving forward as a people, and they took many risks. So we really want to talk about, learn about, share about those people who were our predecessors and just really champion them so that the next generation will not come forth not knowing about a history. Members of the Genealogical Society, we go to various meetings, and you would be surprised at the number of African American communities that no longer exist in this area. In this area, they no longer exist. Okay, keep going. I need to.
Okay.
They no longer exist. And so what they're trying to do is to teach people about their heritage as a people. And so for that reason, we are kind of a step ahead when you think about it. So we're going to take this and move it forward. So again, the Liberty Hill Historical and Genealogical Society, we were organized in the latter part of 2021. People who just really love history, as I said. And as a result of this kind of getting together, we decided that we'd form an organization. Hence, we were born at the latter part of 2021. 2022, we were trying to establish ourselves even more. 2023, we had our launch. And those of you who were at our launch, you know we had a wonderful time. We decided that we would have a contest asking people to research their family history and then bring in great posters and displays, etc. We had a wonderful time. And then that was also the celebration of Juneteenth. And then this year, of course, we had our first Juneteenth parade. Let me tell you who we're not. We're not in the business of building houses. That's not us. We're not in the business of repairing homes. That's not us. Because people know that they don't come to us and ask for money because we don't have any. The money that we have comes from out of the pockets of 7 people who are part of our board. And we get small grants, very small grants. And you know when you get a small grant of $200, $2,000, you have to spend it. So we don't have money to spend on building homes, etc. That's another group that does that, and we champion that. Okay, so now who are we? We are a nonprofit board consisting of 7 individuals. We are dedicated to researching local and community history. We're dedicated to seeking to promote genealogical research for individuals and families. We want people to know about our predecessors. We want you to know about who your great-great-great-grandfather was, the property that they were able to purchase, and how they really had a hope and desire for their children and children's children to move forward. So we really want to champion that. And also we are members of the Liberty Hill Alliance and the Liberty Hill Improvement Council. That's who we are as a group, collectively. Okay, again, we're under the auspices of the Liberty Hill Alliance, and that's us on that second tier, Liberty Hill Historical and Genealogical Society. Okay, meet the board. This is us. Okay, I serve as president. Convita Joy serves as vice president, better known as Conda. Ralph Galloway, who lives in California, and Tara Galloway, you know, if you remember Tara, she lives in California. Chico's daughter, yeah, Chico's daughter. Lily Gilead, she was supposed to be here, I guess she may be coming. She serves as our recording treasurer. Dorothy Hilton, who lives in Delaware, she serves as our educational and reading consultant, and Brian Smalls serves as our treasurer. We make up the board. We are the folks who make up the board. Now, are we asking people to join? Since we launched, we've been asking people to join our organization. The members of the board, we pay $100 a year. We ask people who want to join to pay $50 a year, and then we kind of reduce the price because the year is almost over. So if you have an inclination to want to join us to begin the process of researching, please see Condo or myself. We'll have a sign-up sheet in the back. We welcome you. We need you to be a part of this effort so you can learn more about you. So that you can learn more about you. So these are board members. Okay. That's why I'm not. Okay. Yes. Our board members. All right, now current projects. Okay, the National Registry, as Valerie said, this is really very, very important as far as our goals and objectives are concerned. If you look at the paper that we passed out to you, please take the time to go over this. Okay, the National Registry of Historic Places frequently asks questions before property owners. And it explains what is the National Registry. Well, the National Registry is a phenomenal thing that could happen to a community. Why? Because you're eligible to receive grants, recognition. You're eligible for a lot of things going forward that protects the community. And to make it on this registry, you have to do a lot. You should see this 3-ring binder that we've been able to put together. Valerie started this with helping to do the research, getting endorsements from people. I mean, we can run around. You all can't believe we're up at night, 2 and 3 o'clock. Connie will tell you, this lady never sleeps. She researches property after property after property. Think about all the homes throughout Liberty Hill. Think about all the former property owners. Okay, we have to prove that we are a historic community. So this is what we do. We do the research. There are other folks who love what we do. A lot of people love what we do. In fact, we were invited to go to Academic Magazine to talk to the faculty members because they are so interested in wanting to know more about us. In fact, I've got student after student after student asking if they can help us. Asking if they can help. Now, some things we cannot allow students to help with because we don't want people, to get involved in certain things that really are privy to Liberty Hill. But they can certainly scan documents, they can scan maps, etc. So we're going to work with them as far as them helping us. So the National Registry is important. Go over this, please, and look at all those things that can help us as a community going forward. We need help. We need help when we think about Liberty Hill as a community. We are 153 years old. We've got to do better as far as our structure is concerned. People just don't always have the money to repair homes, etc. So if we can get one friends and move this process forward to better our community so that when our friends and cousins and folks come back to our community, they will see something that they're proud of. And when young people decide they want to, who've gone out, made a living, have a career, they want to come back and buy a house, buy some property, they want to come back to something that they can be proud of and to tell their children about their predecessors. So that's what we're about as far as the Liberty Hill trying to get on the National Registry. We've gone to Columbia, we talked to them. These people love us, but we've just got to do more as far as getting on that National Registry. Historical overlay. To be a part of the registry, we need to let people know that yes, indeed, we are a historical community. So we need something like a blanket, more or less, to tell folks that we are a historical community. So that's part of what we're trying to do as far as getting on the National Registry and letting people know, rather than this building or that building or the other building, the entire community is historic. So we have got to prove that, and again, it takes a lot of work. Now, will everyone agree? No. Does everyone agree in a household? No. Does everyone agree in a school system? No. Does everyone agree as far as how friends are concerned? No. But if we get the general consensus and the majority to say, this is what we want because I need money to help repair my house, then we gotta take advantage of that. Because other communities are doing it. And they're not even a fourth of the years old as far as Liberty Hill is concerned. And they're getting millions of dollars. It's like if you know better, you do better. Well, now we peep the game and we know better, and guess what? Guess what? We're gonna do better. So that's the historical overlay. Liberty Hill markers. Again, part of this process, we have to show people that we have historical buildings. Conda and I guess we're just two, I'm not gonna call her old, but we're two seasoned women. There was a contest, they were giving markers, they were giving grants for markers, 50 markers all over the state of South Carolina. Conda and I decided we're gonna go for it. We wrote the proposal. Conda was driving. Brian Shirley got in the car. We drove to Columbia. I gave the proposal. The proposal was due 2 days later, but I gave the proposal. The young lady read the proposal. She took it to Dr. Breland. Dr. Breland read it before we even got out of Columbia. Now here's the rub. They said that when was that? Back in April. They said, well, we'll let you all know by August, what the outcome is. You may make it. Before we got out of Columbia, they called us and said, Ms. McFadden, you're in the running.
Not in the running, they were gonna give us the marker.
Well, not just yet now. Not just yet. They said, we're in the running. And then they said by the end of the year, they would let us know whether we won or not. Well, what? Less than 2 months later, they called, well, you all won. 15 communities around the state. That's not determination. We believed, we prayed, we fasted, and we went for it, and we got it. We're gonna get more markers also. I've already put in for several other markers, and guess what? We're gonna get those too, because we've got faith that we're going to do this. No weapon formed against us will what?
Process.
We're gonna move forward. So Liberty Hill markers. We've got one already coming. They even called me, asked where do we ship this to? Man, if I didn't run bad, I would shout all around the house. But then, when you think about how we were able to do this, that's nearly impossible. But again, if you have faith, we got faith in this community, and we're gonna do it. So these are the current projects. Now the affiliations, well, now we get involved in everything. We are part of the International African American Museum. Coming forward, we talked with the Director for Community Engagement. We're going to have a day where people come out, scan wills, scan documents, etc. Back in January. We did something like that similar when we did the Liberty Hill Room, but they're going to come out again to Liberty Hill. So any important papers, we'll let you know. You can bring those and scan, and then you bring USB, you bring flash drive. They will give you a copy of your important documents so you will have it. We are associated with the Gullah Geechee Heritage, Cultural Heritage Corridor, NHA. We told them we needed some money. They said, how much? We said, we need a lot of money. So they paid for Juneteenth last year, they paid for our family contest, they gave us a few more dollars. Just ask. Okay, College of Charleston Avery Research Center for African American History and Culture. Conda and I were, with Lowhigh, Conda and I were on a training session Zoom today. We're going to take oral histories of people in our community, tell about what it was for them when they were growing up on Liberty Hill. So we're going to carry forth with that project. We want to really get a lot of you to participate so that we can get more grant funds, so we can help more people. We're also members of the Gullah Geechee Heritage Preservation Project cohort. These are folks around the Low Country. Again, a lot of their communities no longer exist. They love Liberty Hill. They really do. African American Historical and Genealogical Society, that's the national organization. We're part of them. And we're members of the National Association for Interpretation, NIA. We are nationally recognized. Interpretation means that when people tell about our history, we've got to do the research to make sure that what they're telling is legit. And for that reason, we do a lot of research and a lot of interpretation for that organization. So these are our affiliations. So we're just not so, 2 minutes? 1 minute? I'm gonna do 2 minutes. I'm done. Can I have just a couple more minutes?
Yeah.
Wrap it up. Yes,
Okay,
ma'am.
we wrap it up.
Oh, Nick, I'm sorry.
Okay, we did workshops, okay? We had workshops at the Summit Library, that brand spanking new library. We said we need to get in there and have some workshops. Tax dollars went to buy that, pay for that, so we got in there and we did some workshops. For the next one. Those are people who participated. Can we hit that?
Oh, hit
Okay,
that.
yeah, the link.
Oh,
No.
uh-oh.
Well,
We'll play that at the end.
Okay.
You have to tap into the city hub.
okay. Can you go to the next one? No, the one next, go to the next
Get
one.
back up.
Don't worry about it. But I want you all to see the Liberty Hill Parade and also some other events that we participated in. And just for you to know that we're working, we're here for you. We need you to be involved. You may contribute to us. Nothing is too small. And again, we are here so that we can move forward as a community and just do some things for the next generation. For the next generation. Let's see if we can do that one. Maybe not. No. Don't worry about it.
All right.
Thank you all. Questions? 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 Thank you all so much.
Thank you. Now we have the redevelopment group.
Hello, my name is Craig F. Mitchell. I'm the president of the Liberty Hill Redevelopment Group. And what we're working on right now, it's been touched on several times today. And what we're trying to do is we're in a 3-phase operation. Yeah, the board that's represented here, and I want to thank all of the board members for attending tonight. We have Jerome Smalls, we have Lyndon B. Johnson, and there's Dexter right in the rear, and that's our board. And we have been working diligently to renovate houses on Liberty Hill. We've done 53 projects in the last 3 years, and with a budget, we initially got $40,000 for the city of North Charleston. We got $500,000 from Charleston County, and we got donations from the community totaling $8,000, and we had grants from the Coastal Community Foundation. That was about $700,000 in all that we used to renovate these 53 houses. Now, $700,000 may seem like a huge number, but when you go into construction and things of that nature, one roof, I don't want to get anybody upset, but one roof can cost $20,000 easily. And that's just a roof. But we have, and the thing that a lot of people don't understand, and this is the only thing I'll say about this, people on Liberty Hill, some of them are living a lot worse than you could ever imagine. The mayor said this when he was chief. He said that exact same thing, and it's true. I will not go further, but we need as much help as we can because we need everybody to live as good as possible. So with that being said, and we've done those 53 houses, and we have 80 on the list, but we're going to the next phase of the operation at this point, which is to put businesses back on Montague Avenue. And as we do that, we want to put a charging station on Montague Avenue, and we want to put a bank, and the ombudsman already talked about putting a grocery store on the south side. We actually want a grocery store in Liberty Hill if possible. We had one before, but it's not as easy of a job as it seems. So it takes a while. And the mayor and the ombudsman is working that, and we are grateful, Mr. Mayor, thank you. And, but we have to put something on Liberty Hill that'll get some people's attention and let them know that we are very serious about our efforts. And, if we can either put that charging station or a bank or some other businesses. The thing about businesses on Liberty Hill, it's going to create jobs. And no one will ever have to say from Liberty Hill, if they have jobs on Liberty Hill, that they got caught in traffic. Even the train, you can't use that as an excuse, okay? Because you can walk to your job. And this can restore the pride that we had when we lived on Liberty Hill, playing half rubber. These kids don't even know what half rubber is. You know, they don't. And that's a game that, you know, and I've been all over the world. I've only heard of half rubber here in North Charleston. And Charleston, period. I've never heard of it anywhere else. And this is something that we can't let die. We can't let these kind of things die. And our goal is to bring back much better. We adopted President Biden's slogan to build back better. We want to build Liberty Hill back a whole lot better than it was. We had 50 businesses on Liberty Hill at one point. We want to bring some back. We want to make sure we hire locals that live here. One thing, and what happens is we want to ensure that we have some of these businesses that's going to be co-ops. The reason this happens is with a co-op, everybody in the community benefits from a co-op. You don't hook anybody up in a co-op, because if you do it, you're stealing for yourself. Okay, and it'll cut down on crime again, because it's a co-op. You own the business. And if we can bring some businesses like that back, showcase some of the best cooking on the East Coast. Right here on Liberty Hill, we have some of the best cooks on the East Coast on Liberty Hill. Can I get an amen, Sister Candy? You see what I'm talking about? And see, one thing I want to say before I let Jerome come up, I want to talk about our alliance. This alliance we talk a lot about. And every time Valerie and I had 2 vice presidents in our office at the same time, they came to see us at our office. And bank vice presidents. They didn't know we had all of this going on in the community. They didn't know we had this type of a coalition, that we're working all together in the community. And with this alliance, we have 6 nonprofits, and we have 3 what do you call it? Foundations, church foundations, and 1 for-profit, which is Liberty Hill Properties. Liberty Hill Properties is where, from the Liberty Hill Redevelopment Group, we're going to buy houses. We're going to buy land and build houses. We have to keep affordable housing in this community. We cannot count on anybody else to do it. We have to do it. So what we're going to do is we're going to buy some land. We've already purchased some land. We're going to put at least 2 houses on the land, and we're on the way. So that's the first and the second phase. The third phase which is to build the houses. We're in phase 2 of the operation, and we're going to phase 3 really soon.
There's some samples of the houses back there.
Yeah, there they go back there. And there's a lot of other things that I could say, but I want to give Jerome a chance to come up and give his point of view at this time.
Thank you.
Jerome is going to be my successor.
That's what he said.
He's going to succeed me.
Amen.
Just hook up real quick, dog. So I introduced myself really quickly. My name is Jerome Smalls. I born and raised here in North Charleston. Graduated, went off to school up in Washington, D.C., and I was up in D.C. for about 7 years, and I moved back home. Literally, I left my job. I was unemployed for like 8 months, and my spirit and God just brought me back home. I moved back home last March, ended up working for Mayor Tecklenburg. Literally applied for that job as I packed up my U-Haul, and when I got back home, you know, one of my main things that I wanted to do was to come home and buy property. And I saw a lot of things were changing. I saw how fast the city was growing. how fast the city was being gentrified. And I was like, I don't know how I'm gonna be a part of it, but I know I'm gonna be a part of it some kind of way. Because I saw what happened in DC. DC has one of the largest wealth gaps in the country. The average white household makes about $250,000 a year, when the average black household makes about $30,000 a year. And so I saw how DC built itself up. It's a beautiful place to visit, and it's very expensive to live, and it's a lot of fun, but they didn't take care of their local people in that development process. So that's a lot of the reason why I came back home. And as I did, took a leap of faith, and by chance, I was able to buy my first home on Liberty Hill. I live right here on Gaynor. Like I said, I grew up in North Charleston, but I didn't know much about Liberty Hill growing up. And so that was a shame. And immediately, as me being a part of that, appreciate that. So immediately, me being part of it, I got linked up with Ms. Valerie and Mr. Craig. And I see now that part of the reason why God brought me back home was to do this work right here that we're doing on Liberty Hill. And I don't know why my computer, oh, there it goes. See, I had a stall, and then boom. So what I want to talk about today is the gentrification that, like I said, one of the biggest reasons why I came back home was realizing that our people are getting pushed out. We're moving further away. We're getting pushed further away. This is a very rich historical neighborhood. We may not be able to save the whole region, but we can definitely save our 112 acres that is Liberty Hill. And so that's what I'm passionate about. And I really just wanted to paint a picture so that way y'all can understand what the redevelopment group is doing, and how that's different from what the historical group is doing, and how that's different from what the improvement group is doing, but also how we're all working together. And what we can do is we actually do come together and we think about things a little bit more strategic. Mr. Craig mentioned co-op. People don't talk about co-ops. Co-op doesn't fit in this traditional capitalistic model, but we can do things outside of that. We don't have the luxury to move and shape in the same ways that others do, because if we do, we're gonna fall victim to the system. So I just wanna paint a picture. And mind you, like I said, I worked in Mayor Tecklenburg's office. I still work for the city of Charleston. I work in the police department doing our youth outreach. But so I've been aware and been paying close attention to what's been happening around us. And I wanna paint that picture for y'all today as well. So what's already here? So we're seeing growing amenities and urbanization. What does that mean? As you talk about games and stuff like that, I'm like, I don't know that game, but more or less, we were small town, right? Liberty Hill, North Charleston, there's parts of West Ashley that used to be rural that we're seeing becoming major cities. So this region is becoming a major metropolitan. Mr. Wright just mentioned the rapid transit line. We're trying to build up our transit like a major city would. And so that's something to keep in mind. So we're seeing us being urbanized, which isn't a bad thing. Urbanization basically means more people are here, so we gotta figure out how everybody can live together. It's not a bad thing. I just want to be mindful of that, but it is happening. And so we're seeing the expansion of Tanger outlets, right? What they got going on Center Point. We saw the new Park Circle playground opened up last year. We see the revival Park Circle businesses, right? Like that's basically our downtown right now of North Charleston. You got the new Riverfront Park Bridge, right? Mayor, your beautiful campaigns was on that bridge. I saw the logo. That's beautiful. But then you see what's going on there, and then also you see more festivals happen on Riverfront Park. All good things. I love them. It's fun, but just be mindful. You see the new Emmett Apartments on Montague right there by the Convention Center. Then you see those new Asher Apartments on Montague and Dorchester, right? And also we're seeing, and literally a couple streets up, there are homes being sold for $800,000. Some of them more than $1 million. And we also see on the hill people trying to charge $6,000 for rent. This is what people see. They see more money. We're also seeing a lot more money coming in from places not from South Carolina. The pandemic opened up a can of worms. People can make their big city job money and live in Charleston. I actually moved back during the pandemic. I was making my same salary in Washington, D.C., living with my grandma in North Point. So people are doing that, and that's disrupting the economy, and that's why you're seeing the numbers that you see. So just keep in mind, this ain't nothing new on here, right? That's all look familiar, sound familiar? All right, bet. Just wanted to paint a picture, right? So Asher Apartments, the rent for 1 to 2 bedroom is anywhere from $1,600 to $2,200. At the Emmett, the rent, again, 1 to 2 bedrooms, anywhere from $1,700 to $2,500. I also want to show, this is a house right here in Park Circle, almost $500,000, 3-bed, 1 bath, less than 1,000 square feet. And also, if you go on Zillow, you can see the type of numbers that's being around. This is Liberty Hill right here now. Right, we over here in the map, $850,000 $1.3 million, $835,000, $600,000, $600,000, $725,000. Now, on one hand, that sounds great. That sounds like we gonna get what we like. You know what I'm saying? If your property value gonna go up, there's a lot of things you can do with that money, so on and so forth. But we also know that historically, racist practices don't appraise our homes the way that they appraise white homes, right? So just because that home going for that one, you got the same exact home, look exactly the same, because it's in Liberty Hill, whatever they want to say about it, they're not gonna give you that same appraisal. So when you go to sell it, are you gonna sell it for that much? Maybe not. So also keeping that in mind. And also, this is what Ms. Valerie showed earlier, right here on Zillow, on 4874 Nesbitt Avenue, the street behind my street. Someone's trying to market a 3-bed, 3-bath, 2,000 square feet for $6,000 a month.
2.5 bath, I think.
2.5 bath. They round it up. Now, there's nothing we can do about that. That's a free market. We live in South Carolina. We don't have rent control, and that's okay. But what we're trying to say is there are things that we can do if we come together and we think strategically about how we want to do this and how we want Liberty Hill to look like, right? Let them do that. And whoever's willing to pay $6,000 to live on Nesbitt, Godspeed. But for all the other property that y'all own, that I own, that we all have invested interest in, we can decide what we do with that. And that's also what we want to talk about today. So what's to come? We know this beautiful bridge ain't meant to just land on these old warehouses. They're going to do something with that. That's waterfront property. They built the bridge first because they're going to build something here, right? And was it last December that they voted like that's being like the new downtown of North Charleston doesn't have a downtown. Every major city has a downtown. What I just said earlier, we're becoming a major city. This is going to be our downtown. And y'all know what I say, you go skip, hopping, and jump, and it's Liberty Hill. Right there, right next to it. Be mindful of that. What does that mean? I'm gonna show it on the map. So right here is still actually the city of Charleston. This is the Milford property. The city sold that property to those developers 20 years ago. They said, we want our property now. So the city actually has to move its training facilities, firefighters, garbage, stuff like that. And they actually spent, the EPA, the Environmental Protection Agency, spent $100 million just cleaning the soil. Listen to that number. They spent $100 million just to clean the soil because it was contaminated. This was industrial. And the people who own that are about to spend another $300 million building their development here. They say it's going to be like a mini city, right? It's going to be beautiful. And actually, it's going to be a value add to the community. It's going to have, I want to say, over 40 acres of public park. So that's something that we can go down the street, enjoy, take your kids to. It's going to be amazing, but that's coming, right? This right here, that bridge goes over this creek right here. This is going to be our new downtown of North Charleston, right here. We know that Roper, right across the street from here, is building a $1 billion hospital. They're moving their hospital from downtown. They already sold their property at MUSC. They're going to move their campus right here. Why? Because at the intersection of 26 and 526, they can serve the whole Tri-County area. A $1 billion campus right across from where we're at right now. And then obviously we know the expansion that's happening at Tanger, right? And this green box is Liberty Hill. Soak that in. All of this development, all of this progression, and again, it's nothing to be scared of. It's also something to take mind for. We are the heart of North Charleston. Between this major hospital and downtown, the new downtown P and Park Circle, it's Liberty Hill. And then along this red line is the rapid transit line, which is going to be a great value and improvement to the community and to our region. It's going to go all the way from Somerville, all the way down to MUSC. So there are things that are coming, they're coming whether we like it or not, and I do think it's a good thing. I love living in DC. It was a great experience, but I don't think that enough attention was given to the locals there. And we are in a very interesting position. Liberty Hill is still predominantly Black. We still have control of our land, right? I'm grateful. Y'all know Trojan Bell? I bought my house from him. He built my house. So you know what I'm saying? So even you got a young man who just bought his house on Liberty Hill. We can control what we want to do here, and we can match it to the surrounding area. And if we don't take control, somebody else will. We have a lot of control. We have more leverage. We have more ability. We have more capacity than most any other neighborhood. Most people don't own the land that they live in. They don't own the home that they're in. They rent it. So therefore, if that person want to sell it to whoever pays the highest price, they can't do nothing about it. And that's how so many people get pushed out from downtown. So many people get pushed out from the surrounding regions because they don't own where they're at. That's not the situation for Liberty Hill. So we have the ability to take control. And I also want to bring this up. There's the law of land use, misuse, and abuse. If you don't use it, you will lose it. And that's just how property works in this country. The first people that can vote wasn't just white men. It was white men with property. So we have an obligation to be good stewards of the land that we've been blessed with. And so we have to use it, right? People get afraid of property values going up, right? Why? Because property tax go up. But if property tax go up, that means your value of your home went up. And the value of your home went up, that means you actually got money that you can pull and take out against and utilize that to renovate the home, make the value go up. You could build another home on that property. That's how the system wants you to think about your property. That's how the system wants you to use and not misuse or abuse the land that you have. Right now, we're misusing Liberty Hill. And with what I just showed was coming, we have the ability to use it properly and actually meet and match the type of energy that's being built all around it. Because if we don't, like I said, somebody else will take control of it. So with that being said, I actually got a survey here, and I'll pass this out towards the end. But if you scan the QR code, you can take the online survey. We want your input on what we're thinking about and what we want to present and what we want to propose. If you don't have technology, or if you forget, I also have physical copies here I can hand out too. Please make sure if you fill it out, just give it back to me before you leave. It's really short. It's like 15 questions. Like 7 of them are optional. But we really want to get your input on the things that we're talking about, the things that we're planning. Any questions? I explained it pretty well. Hit on for y'all. I'm gonna take the survey, fill it out, and like I said, if you want a physical copy, I got one too that you can fill out as well.
Madam President, if I may, for the sake of time, can we, because we have the mayor present and we have something that we need to get to. So for the sake of time, would you be in agreement that we could forego a couple of things and get to the open session?
Can we just get one person to explain what an overlay is? Just that one.
Yes.
Mr. Dunlap, are you online on the Zoom? He's from Greenville. He's an urban planner that you consult with. Mr. Dunlap. Is he in there? Okay. Did you folks want to explain overlay?
Charles, you want to speak about the overlay?
Just 2 or 3 minutes.
Yeah, you're gonna have to enunciate, my brother.
So we have a graduate student from Clemson that's working on part of our policies for a historical zoning overlay, and that will help govern the community moving forward as we get our national register designation. It will also help us to look cohesive and keep out the profile of the community. So we won't have individual developers coming in and building particular boxes or ultra modern homes that don't look anything like Liberty Hill. So, Charles, can you talk up and just say briefly what a zoning overlay is?
Yes. Hi, everyone. My name is Charles Morrison. I'm a second-year graduate student for our Clemson University studying city regional planning. What overlay is basically the added tool that helps guys development. It helps preserve the culture and the history of the neighborhood. And in this case, it will be an historic overlay district. This will make sure that the people's character and culture is preserved. Still growing in economic revitalization, added in businesses, making sure that the community stays in the community. It'll allow the community to basically take action systematically. being able just to have a voice, have a say in what goes on in the community. The overlay in itself is just like any other zoning tool, because every neighborhood has a zoning boundary, for example, residential, business, commercial. This will allow to basically still keep the same culture, heritage that Liberty has, and that with adding business improvement district as well on the East Montague Avenue, it allows for businesses to grow, allow for local entrepreneurs and the community just being able to keep the community to have a say on what goes on in the community.
Very good. Thank you. Thank you very much. And Charles is working on the historical zoning overlay, the actual guidelines. He's helping us. We're really going to parallel it with Park Circle's guidelines. Park Circle already has an historical zoning overlay, although they're only 52 years old. So we're going to parallel that with that and adopt a lot of their policies. And then Charles will expound on some of that for Liberty Hill. We also have an urban planner from Greenville and an urban planner from Jacksonville that's already revitalized Bella Peachy communities, and they're holding our hand through this process. So we're not doing this alone. We're not doing it blindly. We have professionals that's working with us. Amen? So with that said, we are going to open up for questions and answers. It's something that y'all didn't understand, we need to explain. Because at the end of the day, we're doing a survey to see who is willing to accept our historical designation plan and our historical zoning overlay.
And I'll say too, just to clarify, there's two dimensions to the historical zoning overlay. One is just a designation. I think this is more so what Sister McFadden was talking about, where the city acknowledges Liberty Hill as a historical place, right? Just pure acknowledgement, hey, this is a historical place, and that helps with us getting on the register. The other version of that, though, is one where we can put some rules in place to say, like, hey, if you build a new home, it should look and feel a certain type of way. Case in point, my home, Trojan built in 2021, but if you look at it, you look like it could have been built in 1940, because he built it like how he knows. He's from Liberty Hill. He built it like how he knows. So it's single story, shotgun style, 1,000 square foot on the 30 by 100 lot, right? So even though my home was built in 2021, it still looks and feels like Liberty Hill. Now, he did that because he's from Liberty Hill, and that's how he knows how to build homes. That's how he wanted to build it. He didn't have to build it that way. So like I said, there's one where you designate it as a historical neighborhood, and there's other ones where you can say, hey, there's certain rules that you have to adhere to make sure that even new homes being built still look like what's historically been at Liberty Hill. And it actually helps us with our historical preservation, right? You can't say, oh, we're a historical neighborhood, and all the homes look like brand new homes from 2025. And it's like, well, how historical are y'all if all of half the homes, and mind you, got 250 vacant lots, if half the homes don't even look like the ones that used to be there? So there's two levels to it. That survey asks us, asks y'all how comfortable y'all feel with that. If that's not something the community doesn't want, then that's something the community doesn't want. However, we do think that it's something that could really help us and preserve us. And we think that there's ways that we can write it and make it so it doesn't become a barrier for folks either, right? Downtown did the same thing. But they made it so the dang picket fence got to be so specific, it's going to cost a contractor 3 times as much to build a fence. And now people who can't afford the fence in the first place, for sure can't afford this historical fence. You see what I'm saying? We're not trying to do that. We're trying to just say the house has got to look like this. House got to feel like this. They don't have to have a certain type of wood, a certain type of siding, or a certain type of whatever. But we also think there's a middle ground. So I just want to clarify that. There's 2 dimensions to a zoning overlay. One that just gives us designation, just tells the world, hey, we're historical, and ones that put a little bit more rules in place so that way when they go to apply for a permit, they have to make sure that what they present to the city matches what we say we want in the neighborhood.
Let me also add to that, with historical designation, there are so many perks that go along with that. kind of tourist destination. I am is here. Okay, there are people already asking to come into Liberty Hill just to check it out. When Asala had their conference here, there were 4 of us who took people all around Liberty Hill, from Detroit, different places. It was Sept, myself, Batiste, and Sherry Pearson. We went on 4 different buses. Those people wanted to come back, but they couldn't because COVID came into being. And for that reason, when you've been connecting with I Am, that is a perk. That brings tourist dollars into Liberty Hill. People want to see this historical community. We're on the national register. You know how many people come from Europe to this area to see historically Black communities? There are folks, there's a lady in England who's writing a book now about Gullah Geechee communities. That lady's going to make a mint. She's going to make a lot of money. We got to value who we are.
I guess it's some about that. You know, I'm 100%, 120% support of everything we do on it. But I gotta keep it real. We have 198 lots, I believe. We have 200 something lots on the video. Empty lots. Some of them have structures on them, and some of them, most of them empty. Now, we hadn't get the historical stuff done because it's from the city side. What do I need to do on the city side?
You've already done part of it,
Okay.
hiring that architect to certify the property.
So do I need to do a letter from the city, from the council?
Not yet, but we will let you know.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, that'll be done.
Because you did one already. so,
Okay. All right. Now, this is the crux of the matter. I know y'all gonna beat me up, but I'm gonna see what I gotta say. Do y'all understand what generational wealth means? Generational wealth. Me and my cousin Craig, we talked for a really long time. Some of the developers have been coming to see me from day one. They had the smallest property that they wanted to develop. You all know the smallest property is at, right? Right there by the center. Been there since I moved to Liberty Hill in 73, 74. My dad been here all his life. Now, generational wealth is this. I don't want us to hurt us by saying what can and can't be built in the area that the folks own, our folks own. The smallest family, they're kin to, the Grants are who they're kin to. Everybody. So that property's been there since what, 1871, right? That property's been there since 1871, right? So the smallest find somebody to develop the property. And I know something that was said that we didn't want the house two stories high.
We didn't see that.
Okay, no, that's what I'm saying. Somebody said you didn't say it, but that's why I called you.
Right.
And I called my cousin because I said, no, I don't think that's fair. Go ahead.
Can I expound on that?
Yes, ma'am.
We said it can be 2 stories, but we asked the developers, and we met with them.
Yeah.
If it can look like a
Yeah.
1 story, and it's still.
Okay, well,
I lived in one.
I'm good with I'm good with
Yes,
the look.
Yes, sir.
That's the only, I'm glad you cleared
Yes,
that,
sir.
because I'm saying, if the smallest family have the land, they are Liberty Hill people. They are, the construction is gonna be nice. It's gonna be something, it's gonna be vibrant. We should not hold them back.
We don't.
You know what I'm saying? I'm saying we shouldn't hold them back. Now, Craig talked to me about it, and he explained to me and told me everything about it. That was one of my biggest issues, that we should not, if generational wealth, they have that land, just like me. You know, my mother lives right there. That house was built in the 30s, 40s. Matter of fact, one of the part of the house was burnt down, and my grandma Ella had to build it back up. It may not look totally as my cousin. That's my granduncle's great-grandson. Yeah, he's building it, and I understand, but if we're going to take those 200 lots and invest to get people to come in there, people 1871, that's the only place we can live. Amen? That's the only place we can live. Tanya, and I'm not calling you out, on Cantwell, there's a white guy that built the house how many years ago, Tanya?
Beautiful house.
5 years ago. I mean, you look at the equity in that area. You know, it's coming up. So what I'm saying is, people who we grew up with are not going to fill those 200-something lots. So we should be welcoming. We all church-going people here. We should be welcoming them, but make sure it is what we would like it to be. We can regulate that. We can. I just don't want our folks, and I use the smallest property because I don't want them to be beat down because somebody's building a house and we think it shouldn't be a certain height. That's the only thing about that part of it.
No, good.
Mr. Mayor, I want to be honest with you.
Yeah.
And
Please be honest.
the height of the house, this thing that we hear about Liberty Hill, trying to block the small property sale, that came from him. Because when we first heard that, we heard that out of Brandon's mouth in our office. That's where that came from. We never said that. And now the Smalls family are angry with us because he said, we never said that.
Right.
I talked to the developer myself.
I'm gonna have to defend myself.
I'm talking, I got to go.
Hold on.
See, because this is what happened. This is what happened. When we were and Valerie and Mrs. McFadden, please back. Brandon came to the office and he said that what we were doing is we were going to block people's expansion on their house, what they put up, you said the same, how they build a fence, he said, when it came back to us, it came back almost verbatim as to what he said in our office. And now the Smalls family, she is my family. Why would I block her from the sale of their Frank was one of my dearest friends in the world. When he died, a month before he died, he came to my house. And all of this anger is because of him. He did that. And what I need to do, Mr. Mayor, I need for you to on record that Brandon caused this. And now he's gonna say, I'm lying. Tell me if I'm lying. The two of you.
Yeah, well, actually, I got so upset.
Mr. McFadden, what you thought? Because we didn't come in for this now. We didn't come in. I had to just speak my part. Brandon, you said you want to speak. Go ahead.
That is not true.
Oh, Craig, let's go, Craig. Let's say.
I have said from the very beginning, and I have been very clear in every meeting with every person in every community meeting, that my only position on this is that I want to support what the community wants. That has been my only position. I have never opposed anything. The only thing that I have asked is that we have good clarification on what is being proposed and that the community is actively involved in whatever that proposal is, and that every property owner and resident has bought in to the proposals and the proposed changes before we as a council vote on it. Because this is, as the mayor has stated, and I have supported, and the mayor and I have met about this several times, this is a monumental change that is going to affect people's property values, people who have owned property for generations. And we need to make sure that those stakeholders, the people who own property, the people who live on Liberty Hill, understand what the proposal is and what they want, and if they want that. That's all I've said. I have never spoken out against anything. I have been at so many meetings. I apologize if there's been a misunderstanding, but you can look at every meeting I've ever attended and that has been reported, and this is the same statement that I have made every single time.
All right. Yeah, Ms. McFadden.
Maybe I was hearing differently, but when I was in that meeting, in fact, I got so upset based on what you said, and you know it, because I really expressed how upset I was when you verbalized, what you said about the community. Remember?
You asked for clarification, and I said to you exactly what I just said, which is that I want to ensure that I am not opposed. First of all, I am completely and totally in support of the national registration, the national recognition. That is, there's two issues. I'm completely in support of that, and always have been, and always will be, and I think we're gonna get that across the finish line very soon. The separate and completely, totally independent issue is something that could affect what people are or are not allowed to do with their own property. And I will say it again, and then really there's nothing else for me to say because I've said it twice. This needs to have significant community support from property owners and residents of Liberty Hill before I will support it. And I have never said that I won't support it. And in fact, I recall very distinctly the meeting we were talking about, and you were very upset, yes. And you asked me, you both asked me, you all three asked me, I think Craig may have left, but you asked me if I supported this, and I said, I will support whatever the community wants, as long as we have a verbose and well understood, and we're at this meeting, and this is a step towards getting community input.
Let me make that correction. You said all, and when I first got here, when I first started talking, remember I said that in homes and families, etc., people don't always agree. People don't, did I not say that? People don't always agree. You can't have 100% of a community agree for something before you say you're not going to support. Everybody, if we got the majority, now you're saying majority, but if we've got people who want to go along with keeping Liberty Hill on top, and we don't want to oppose anybody as far as, like we said, from building, selling, whatever, because whatever problem you got, that's yours. But we want to govern or think about how properties, how buildings look aesthetically. And when you said, remember now, when you said all, that's when I got really upset. When I got upset because you said all. And I even mentioned kicking the can down the road, remember?
If I did say all, that was only in that all property owners must have a copy of whatever we're talking about.
You said financially, all
But
residents and
again,
landowners.
this is a, we're just talking about he said, she said, and I have publicly stated what I support and what I believe, and I think that that's all I really need to say.
Okay, all right, so you have questions, because I want to move on now, after that.
Yes.
What is your position to Liberty Hill?
I'm sorry, what?
What is your position?
My position, I'm your city councilman.
Yes, the city council. Yes, he is the city council.
All right, Ms. Holmes. Ms. Holmes, you good with that response? Okay, another thing too, Councilman Hard, the $2.5 million that they were given, the city council given many years ago. Councilman Hard has, how much money did he put in toward the streetscape?
I think it's 1.8.
1.8, okay, $1.8 million is going toward the streetscape from the railroad tracks to Mixon, okay? Now, the issue is this is where the humping has to start. We've got to get in contact with everybody on that thoroughfare. Everybody. My family on the thoroughfare, your family, all of them. Because if we're gonna do streetscape, it needs to look like we want to look. We're trying to put black wrought iron fences all the way down. We're trying to fix up the yards that's there. Some of the, underground, we're gonna put the power cords underground. And also, we wanna actually take some of these yards that don't have any structures, either get the people who own those properties to fix it and care for it, or we're gonna have to do it ourselves. So that's when you all know those people on those main thoroughfares. We need to find out those people who have heirs property that own it. Housing, and I'm gonna deal with housing. Let me deal with housing. Housing owned over Ed Lee's gas station right there. I'll deal with housing. Don't worry about that. I'll deal with that. But that's some of the things that we have to do in the meantime. And also too, with Al's Diner, I'm gonna go and get with Charity, matter of fact, next week, and make an offer to buy that back. From the city, buy that back, that property. And then we'll work with this, with the board. And we work with the lines, to see how we can build it, because I think you guys did an addition a while back, to see exactly how we can build it and fix it. You see that red stripe on there, the X? That means it's supposed to be demolished. Okay? And if any brick or any wooden stuff fall off on somebody, guess who's liable? Who owns the chair? Bingo, bingo. So when the city purchased that property, the liability is gonna be on who? And North Charleston, and who's North Charleston? No, it ain't me, us. Next over there, you wanna be my homeboy, something like you. I got you, man. Boy, be alone, be allowed for it. But, so what we wanna do is this, I don't think that, I was down there, I think that the brick around it was only veneer. I don't think it was block brick wise. Yeah, yeah, so what we're planning on doing, once the city buys it back, we're gonna actually have to have a real good conversation with y'all, because it's historical. Possibly we'll have to probably gut it, tear it down. If we tear it down, we'll take the bricks that's around it and use the bricks to be more symbolic in the new, spot. Like Park Circle, we got the old floors in there, because that's the brick veneer. That's not, brick masonry stuff. It's just around the wooden part of the building. So that's one thing we have to think about doing. I truly believe, and I'll say this in front of anybody, we got the posting card right here. Kennedy's right here. I am trying to make sure the city of North Charleston does something when it comes to Black history that's going to stay. We haven't had it. I don't think there's nothing here in this city that's dedicated to Black history like we need it. The crown jewel of Black history in this area is Liberty Hill. 1871 people. If you can tell me anything on further back here in North Charleston, 1871. But what we do with it, we have to do it together. All this bickering between this group, then I see Liberty Hill, next generation, I see Mr. Flood, we got to come together, people. We got to come together now. I'm serious, we got to swallow all this pride stuff, man. Because we can't do Liberty Hill any good if we're separated. And I'm speaking the truth. I'm fed up with it. I really am. I'm fed up with it. So we got to come together. That's what we're going to be doing on the city side. We're going to get that property back and then hold that property for the city. And then once we start working on it, look at some funding streams to get something done with it. Then once we get it done, then the city itself, just like the community center, will actually hold it, the deed, but it basically it'll be just a Liberty Hill stuff. Okay? And because that way that the city can keep insurance, went to Robert finding to get insured and all the stuff like that. It would be actually a historical site for Liberty Hill. Because yes, whatever visiting, whatever we want, because Nelson Rivers told me that the International African American Museum wants that building to be, if you ever go to Memphis, when you go to Memphis before you go to the King Museum, they will give you some brochures and tell you to go over to the Underground Railroad places. You go there, you see how the Underground Railroad, you see how our foreparents were under there at the dock, and you read everything, and then it would tell you to go to King's Museum. That's what the reality is. When people come, before they get to the museum, they'll come to Liberty Hill. We can take what's in Amtrak and make it even bigger. We should have every street name and the names of the people who live there in this building. So that when you walk, because when you standing on Liberty Hill, you standing on the ground, historical ground.
We envision a virtual.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. So we want to be. I like it to be 3-story. I really would like it to be 3-story. We can have the bottom end for the senior centers, senior people, hang out and do whatever they like to do. Then the second can be for mentoring and tutoring for our young kids, place they can go. Then the third could be the museum and other times, however y'all want to do it. But I just think that's what we need to do. So when you come down East Montague, like you said, when you go down to the other area, which is Park Circle, you will see Liberty Hill. But we got to fix the streets. We got to make it look like it's supposed to look, people. You got it. Yes, ma'am.
Let me say something.
Yes, ma'am.
Since you're talking about that,
Yes, ma'am.
are we gonna do the streets, then let's name the streets like it was in 1875, 1877.
So you want to rename them?
Right,
Okay.
because back then during that time, yes, the property, Liberty Hill was bought by Freeman in 1871. But St. Peter's Church
Mhm.
was on Liberty Hill since 1864. Am I correct?
Yes, sir.
See, so we had blacks on Liberty Hill
Before.
before 1871.
Okay, gotcha.
St. Peter's Church was down in Turnbull,
Okay.
where the Navy Yard.
Yeah, down there, I heard that. Yes, ma'am.
And they moved up here in 1864.
Okay.
Then 7 years later,
Mhm.
that's when the Fort Freeman
Right.
bought it.
Right.
But we had blacks on Liberty Hill
Yes, ma'am.
before then,
Yes, ma'am.
all right? In 1875, that's when Ishmael started comparing properties. See, so he had, before Freeman had it in 1871, then they sold it, Aaron, William, and Plenty sold the property back to, well, not sold, but deeded back to
Yes,
Ishmael.
ma'am.
So Ishmael had all the 111 acres. Let's get this straight now. Everybody think it was 112 acres, but it was actually 111 acres. Because 1 acre was for St. Peter's that came out of the 112 acres, all right? So when Ishmael started selling in 1875, between 1875 and 1877, that's when Ishmael,
Subdivided.
no, he sold 10 acres to William, 10 acres to Plenty, and 10 acres to Aaron Middleton. The rest Ishmael had owned, which was 82 acres. Then he started selling it to Guy Small in Guy Small got a truck. I think Abby also, his sister, back then during that time. But what I'm saying is that Gus Johnson had the property where the LeCue Street's at now. Guy Small's owned it by where the center at, right where it's at now. Each one of these owners had a street, and it was named after them. So right now it's LeCue Street,
Yes, ma'am.
but back in 1875 it was Johnson
Okay.
Street.
Okay.
Well,
Then it became Upjohn.
Right.
Then now it's LeCue.
Okay.
So we're going to name the streets in the Al's Diner.
Yes, sir.
We're going to make it a museum or whatever.
Yeah.
What I'm saying, when you're doing that, think about naming the street back to what it was back then during that time.
Well,
Not now.
I don't have no problem, but you need to talk to Bertha Burgess on Nesbit. Then, I remember we had 372 Nesbit, and then, right. And they went to 4924, and they had a hard problem with that. Oh, my God.
That's how the street was Grant Avenue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know how we do that. I think that's the way, that's when you talk about the true plan. True plan, on what you're trying to attempt to do. But you have to have that buy-in. And I'll figure out how you have to go about changing the street, because I've never done that. As man, this is my 9th month. I don't know if
I don't mean to make it now.
and my wife over there. My wife tells me this. Tell me this.
I don't mean doing it now, but
Yes,
as
ma'am.
you
No, I like that. If we can get a buy-in, I like
we go
that.
to say Liberty Hill is historical,
Yes,
let's do it.
We need to do it right. Yeah.
Do it
So,
right.
and I'm gonna sit down. This is one of the things that we've been working on, and Sheriff and I have been working on, and some of the guys upstairs people. This is the Black Charleston Explorer. So when you come in South Carolina, like when you go to the airport terminal and everything, you find this. Well, I look at it, this is great, but it doesn't have anything about Liberty Hill. You know what I'm saying? So what I'm saying is this is what we're doing. We're making sure that, that what we need to place in here for us. So we'll get back to you on that. This is another thing right here. It's like a brochure that we're putting out, my people putting it together. And to show you all, something when you get off the plane, off the train or whatever, and to show you all the eateries are, and the events. And we're rehashing this as well. to make sure that when you see one neighborhood, you see our neighborhood as well. So those things, and it's like, almost like you said, it's just changing the mindset on which is maybe natural to others, but unnatural to us. So all we want to do is just make sure that we level the playing field. That's it. And the last thing I'll say is that, and I think I've said this to y'all before. Okay, we have a pool right at Liberty Hill. My dad used to swim in the pool and everything. But if you go to Rivers Avenue in Durant, right, all the way down to Union Heights, you're talking about Shakur, Cherokee, you're talking about Whooper Barron, you're talking about the Whalen, the Terrace, Ackerby, Union Heights, all those neighborhoods down there. The simple thing that the pool is gonna be down there. I mean, tell me where's the pool in that area? None at all. And you wonder why I fought so hard against Rankin Boat Company, because that area over there, I lived on Daniel Dickens project for like 6 or 7 months. You know, that's pristine water right there, the Ashley River. That's why I said, let's build something over there for people to go and hang out, not a factory, you know? So we kind of win that battle somewhat, but we don't own that property. The property was given or deeded to the Charleston County Park and Recreation. But it's in our jurisdiction. So it was zoned R1, which is residential 1. So I'm going to go over there and talk to them to see if we can get them to follow the plans of getting, access to the water. And then when you come up a little closer, you go by Old Shakur, which is military man. We have our 3rd senior center built right there. Matter of fact, Sherry Pearson is going to run that senior center. And so it's going to be there because you need to have access. So the people in the southern part of the city will have access to it as well. We're working on Dorchester Whalen and the Terrace. They don't have a community center. We have land down there. We're working on trying to build one down there for them. And other places as well. So what I'm saying is that there's a whole lot to do. And Nefertiti left already, but she's got, she's dealing with the Liberty Park situation.
To fix up the old community center.
Yes, ma'am. Well, they're gonna build a $17 million community center in the state. Dot Williams is gonna be moved, and they're gonna build one in the state's doing it, the DOT. They're doing that, because they're gonna widen the
Or
market.
they're gonna get rid of some of the community centers like Ferndale and stuff.
Yeah, they have, well, Ferndale is our responsibility. That's her area too, Nefertiti. But Nefertiti did her 2.1 million, she's placing it in those places. She's putting that money into Ferndale Center. She's also placing money into 10 Mile Center, and she's doing the one on Liberty Park as well. Yeah, she's doing that. Listen, that young lady right there, everything she's got. Everything. And the sad part of it was when she became the city councilwoman, she didn't have any money because Dot Williams was the one in that area. But Dot had 2.4 million left, but they had already kind of lined it up where it was going to go. So what I did, I went to my financial director and said, "What this 2.4 you had? Tell me what we have signed off on," because I didn't want to take the money if your company had already got a contract with us. That's not good business. Found out 2.1 or $2 million, there was no contract on it. So I took that and I gave it to her because she's the new city councilwoman for the area. And she's throwing out money where she needs to throw that. And as Brandon did the same thing on his side. He put money in this area as well as the money that Councilman Hart had. So he did it as well. And then Sandino Moses, he's up there. He had Virginia Jameson's area, so he did the same thing as well. But yeah, I just want to like I said, we've got to come together, especially the leadership. I mean, we as people, we believe in leadership now, but the leadership got to work with the other leadership. We all got to. We always can't be the quarterback. You can be the running back. You can block. As long as we won the game, right? That's all that matters. So let's let's get together. I'll do what I have to do, but I'm stronger when you guys are together. I'm stronger when you guys say, "Hey, we've talked. This is what we want to do," and I can go on, because we gonna have to have council support when certain things are done, the zoning things or changes. If it goes before council, I have to get the majority vote. The 10 city council members, 1 me. So if we get 5 council people and I vote, we will win. Hopefully we get it all. But I want you to understand, we have to have the elected officials to be a part of this. All right. Do I have any questions for me?
No, sir.
Wife, let's go on.
And that's why we say there's one dream, one team, and build back better together, Liberty Hill. Because guess what, y'all, I think we all have that dream to preserve Liberty Hill. So let's do it together. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Please pull out your phones and scan this code. We need your input on the surveys. Please pick up a survey in the back. We need your input on what you think about the zoning overlays and about moving forward to preserve Liberty Hill. Is very, very, very important for the history of Liberty Hill. But we were told 2 years or 3 years ago that Liberty Hill will not exist in 10 years. I was told in my face, but Shams, Liberty Hill will not be here in 10 years. So just know that there's people that say that, and it's moving forward, okay? I'm just telling you. So we got to do it ourselves, and nobody else does. So let's get together as one team for that one. Amen. So that's it. Hearts and minds clear?
All hearts and minds, close this meeting with prayer, please. Everyone stand in prayer. Father God, we come to you, calling you, thanking you for this meeting. We thank you, Father God, for the wisdom and understanding. We actually bless each one of us at this meeting, bless our leadership. And Father God, this team we have as a community, we actually continue to bless us, bless our sick and shedding, and bless each and every one that we travel home. Those who want to be blessed them also, Father God, and those online. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Where did you get that? Amazon? You bought that from Amazon?
No, I was getting that.
All right.